Hey guys, I'm Brittany Reed. I'm one of the 412 leaders at the Greater Little Rock campus of New Life Church. I've been there for about 5 years, so a lot of you probably know my face. I probably don't know yours, and that's okay. But anyway, I just want to give you a quick rundown of my most embarrassing moment, and then we'll get this started. So I'm in high school, I'm in band, but I also played basketball. I don't know how many of you guys do both, but it can be tough when there's a pep rally because you have to be in two places at once. So I'm up in the stands, I play trombones, I'm at the very top where the low brass are, and they call my name because I know it's coming because it's a basketball pep rally, but I wasn't quite prepared for the transition of putting down trombone and taking first step, okay? So I didn't do it all very smoothly, and so they call my name and I'm like, yeah, that's me. All my band friends go crazy. I put the trombone back, take the step at the same time, and then down the bleachers I go. It was awful, not only because I fell in the middle of band, but because the rest of the school is on the other side of the gym, and so they see it happen, which was awkward for me. And so I was very stressed out, and I was shaking all the way to join my teammates in line. But anyway, that's my most embarrassing moment. Use it how you will. Let's get into our topic for today. So let's just think back on our topic before, like, who is God? We've gotten to know him a little bit, and we've been thinking on that, and that's great. But now that you've made that decision to let God be in charge of your life and to guide you down the path of making decisions on the spiritual journey you're on, like, what does that mean? Obviously it means that you're never gonna make any mistakes. No, that's not how this works. But the cool thing is we are saved and forgiven even though we're not perfect. And you have to keep that in mind, that you're not perfect. Just to let you know, if you think you're perfect, I'm gonna bet you $1.50 right now that you don't have any friends who enjoy being around you. Nobody likes the person who thinks that they're perfect. But God loves us anyway, and we're a part of his redemptive plan because we're not perfect. Like, you don't need redemption if you're already perfect. You already are the way that you are supposed to be. But that's not how it is for us because we're humans. And thanks to Adam and Eve, we're all born sinners. Like, they jacked it up for everybody, okay? If you look back in Genesis 3, so that's the beginning of your Bible, we get to see the fall of man and woman, all right? So they're in the garden where everything is provided for them and life is great and they get to hang out with God whenever they want. And then slithery Satan comes on in and messes everything up. He tricks Eve into thinking that God is withholding something from her by telling her that, well, God surely doesn't want you to die. If he says that you eat from this tree, that doesn't make any sense. And Eve's like, yeah, you're right. You're right, I won't die if I eat from this tree. Yeah, he's like withholding something from me, and I don't like that. I want to know everything. I want to be like him. So she suckers Adam into it, who's like, yeah, babe, it's a great idea. Let's eat from the tree. So they both do it, and everything changes from then on because they realize, oh, we're naked, and then all these insecurities and all these things enter the world for the very first time. But the cool thing is, even though they've completely messed up, they have blown it big time, God's still walking in the garden looking for them. He's like, where are you guys? Hey friends, where'd you go? Because before then they all hung out together and everything was great. And so God comes looking for them because he still wants that relationship. Of course he knows that they've blown it, but just for funsies, he asks them, like, why were you hiding? And they're like, we were naked. And God's like, who told you you were naked? You ate from the tree, didn't you? Come on, guys. Like, I gave you everything you needed and you messed it up. But that was fine. Were there consequences of their actions? Absolutely. Are we still living out those consequences? Yes. But the cool thing is, God sent Jesus as a sacrifice for all the sins to cover all the things that we would do in our life that would be a hot mess decision, okay? So this reminds me that even though I'm not perfect, that I'm still valuable, I'm still useful. And because God still wants me. We don't want things that aren't valuable and useful, but God still wants us because he knows that we are still valuable and useful. Even when we make those mistakes, he's like, hey, that's all right. I sent my son to cover every mistake that you're ever gonna make. And that son is Jesus. When he looks at us, he's like, it's okay. My son died for this. I already knew you were gonna do it. It's fine. And that just gives me comfort to know that I don't have to be perfect because God is perfect. He'll fix all of my imperfections. I'm not in charge of that, which was a hard thing for me because I love control, right? Like I want to fix it, I need it to be better, all these things, right? And sometimes I just get out of control, okay? When I was in middle school, so you guys' age, I decided while I was at the store that I wanted some candy and my mom wouldn't let me get it. So what'd I do? The package was already open, just to put that out there. The package is already open. I just sneak a couple, put them in my pocket. But like an idiot, I throw the wrapper away in the bathroom trash can, which you know the bathroom trash can never gets any trash in it. So my mom sees it. And I'm like, nah, I didn't take that candy that I asked you specifically for, and then you told me no, and then I took it anyway. I didn't do that. Call my friend, she'll tell you that I gave it to her. This is before texting, so I couldn't be like, hey friend, I need you to cover for me. Like that didn't happen. So it was awful for me. I got grounded forever because I stole, and then I lied, and then I brought my friend into it, because that's just kind of how sin works. Like it just snowballs and turns into a disaster, right? But eventually my parents were like, hey, let's just make sure we don't make this mistake again. Was there a consequence? Yes. There are always consequences to our actions, but my parents, they still love me. I never doubted like, oh my gosh, my parents hate me now. I'm the worst kid in the world, because we make mistakes. And that's the same thing that we learn from God. Like he still loves us even when we make the biggest mistakes of our life. He's like, I still love you. I still want you. I can help mend this together, this brokenness that's within you that's causing you to do these things that you shouldn't be doing. I can fix that. You just have to depend on me and turn to me when you have those moments. And thinking about brokenness and being healed just reminds me of this Japanese art form called kintsugi. Kintsugi, not kintsushi. I don't know about kintsushi, that sounds weird, but kintsugi, if you take a look at it, we've got a picture up here for you. And basically what they do is they take these pieces of pottery that are broken, that nobody wants, they're kind of tossed to the side, and they bring them back together and they mend all the cracks with gold. And when you mend something with gold, that makes it way more valuable than it was before. And that just makes me think about my life before I knew Jesus. I was a hot mess, making crazy decisions. I wasn't a very good friend. I wasn't always the best daughter. I just didn't do things the right way. And with Jesus in my life, in my heart, filling in those cracks, filling in all the brokenness and the hurt that I've had in my life, I get to be used by him in a way that I never thought would be possible. I get to hang out with cool kids like you and speak life into you and let you guys know that you have purpose and you're chosen. And if it wasn't for Jesus mending all of that brokenness in my life, I would still be considered useless and worthless and not valued. But because we have a God who loves us enough to help fix us, we get to have purpose in our lives. And I hope that at some point you're like, I want to know what my life could be with God in it. I want to know what that's like. I want to let him guide all of my decisions. I want to give up to him the things in my life that I can't control anymore. The mistakes that I've made, the people that I've hurt, the things that are affecting me emotionally that, impact the people around me. I want to give that to him and let him fix it, because I can't fix it on my own. And I know that that's where I can find value. So if that's something that you're interested in, just talk to one of your leaders and say, hey, I can't take all the brokenness and the heaviness in my life anymore, and I need Jesus to help me through it so that I can be made better and be more valuable than I was before. All right, so if that's something that's interesting to you and you're like, I want to have value and purpose and worth in my life, I want to know where I'm going, I want to be healed and made whole through Jesus, go ahead and just watch one of these videos and see how it changed the life of another 412 student. And then go ahead and start that Bible study. Figure out what it is that you need to do, those next steps, so that you can begin your healing process, so that you can be made whole through Jesus.